That's no video. The pistol thing's ended. Of course. So yeah.
And if it's incorrect, you might have a problem with the rules of special conduct, whatever the parallel is in Texas. Can report to the tribunal, but also can report opposing counsel. You're not required to tell opposing counsel everything that they ask you, but you are required to deal with it ethically and honestly within the rules. My point simply is that that's how discovery works. And I don't know what happened in the Alex Jones case. I don't know. The allegation is that the attorneys messed up, and that's what plaintiff's counsel said. And the defense attorney says it was inadvertent, it was a mistake. But I want to clarify a couple things. Some people were saying that all of the communication was privileged, and the attorney should send it over. There's no allegation of all privilege. Some of it may have been, but the non-privileged stuff certainly is a different category. But there's a bigger issue, and that is that the attorney had the opportunity to object to it in court and didn't. And he also had the opportunity to move to get back a few days earlier, but didn't do that either. And the plaintiff's counsel made that very clear in court when he said, I got this stuff 12 days ago. So on the day in court where Mr. Jones was on the stand, his attorney basically had two warnings that this was happening. One was the comment 12 days ago, and one was, would you like to object to this? And he didn't. I don't know what happened. I don't know. But that's the best explanation I give you as to what happened. And we'll see what happens going forward. I do know the jury came back and awarded some money to plaintiffs. By some money, I mean a lot of money. And so the real question is, will these documents show up in the other trials? I understand there's two more trials similar to this one that happened in another state. And whether these documents show up in any other setting, because the rumor is that they've been requested by other entities. So we'll see. But it all appears to be done with a massive data dump that wasn't mistaken, but wasn't corrected soon enough and was not objected to, at least with respect to one item, in court that day. So there you go for everyone asked me. I apologize. It's probably the longest video I've ever done. Questions or comments, put them below the document.
Thank you for watching Lincoln's Law.
In California's March 5th Senate primary, the top two vote getters, regardless of party, advanced to the general election. Early polls showed it safely in first or second. But in October, a celebrity Republican jumped into the race, and his rise could prevent us from making the top two. That would mean no more whiteboards in Congress. That would be a huge win for powerful CEOs and big polluters. This is a close race, and I know
Your Med Monitor system of tallying death tolls in Gaza is higher than what you'll see reported in the press, because when you see 27,000 Palestinians having killed in Gaza, that's basically who they can confirm. There are thousands more missing, trapped under rubble, and tens of thousands more who are permanently maimed, disabled, paralyzed, without limbs from Israel's unprecedented bloody assault on Gaza. But Euromed Monitor is reporting that since the ICJ ruling, the Israeli army has killed over 373 Palestinians, hundreds more injured, and that is in defiance of the ICJ essentially issuing a cease, not a ceasefire, right? But effectively a ceasefire and everything that they laid out. We spoke about this before, but I think the ICJ was probably hesitant to use the word ceasefire because one, Hamas is not a party under the Genocide Convention, so they felt it was an obligation, and two, it would clearly not be able to be enforced, really, and then that further undercuts the legitimacy of the scope of the court when they rule specifically on the genocide accusation. So I was...
And also, it implies there's some sort of like, and this is not to undermine the general call for ceasefire,
right.
But in this context, like, it's sort of like two co-belligerents. And actually, it's one community effort.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I mean, the ceasefire phrase, right? Like, I'm going to take it because that's what we left behind to stop the killing. But yeah. I'm in agreement with you that it's not really appropriate for this genocide.
Well, there's always another demand behind it, which is like the occupation is a problem as well.
Exactly, right. It reinforces the false notion that this is a two-sided conflict between two sovereign parties. But, you know, the world is watching, right? Like the ICJ ruling that was issued to Israel, basically saying you have to stop these things. Euromed Monitor is reporting they're in violation of it. It's clear that they're in violation of it since the ruling. National Security Minister Ben-Gvir has called for the resettlement of Gaza, so an explicit call for ethnic cleansing by the National Security Minister. Israelis, right-wing
It was a murder, actually.
nationalist pro-genocide protesters are blocking aid trucks from coming into Gaza. A mass grave was found with decomposing bodies, Palestinians, dozens, in black bags, blindfolded and handcuffed, dead in northern Gaza. That was discovered the other day. So these are just more and more crimes that are being documented, I think, by the South African legal team and by the world, as Israel was supposed to cease these kinds of crimes, and they clearly have not.
No, instead we just read about them on Twitter, but the ones that happened after
Yeah, right. And completely giving into the Israeli government's obvious distraction effort on the day that the ICJ issued its ruling. This is when they were making the accusations about UNRWA really being Hamas. But this is South Africa's Foreign Minister, Naledi Pandor. She has been leading the efforts and has been the most vocal representative of South Africa's case here, and I commend her immensely. She was speaking at, I guess, a press conference yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, Bradley. Speaking at a press conference in South Africa yesterday about a bunch of issues, but including the South Africa leading the charge against Israel in the ICJ. And here she basically kind of hints at the fact that South Africa may be considering deeming nations supporting Israel right now, the United States, the UK, Germany, complicit in these crimes.
What do we expect of support from other countries? We expect them to join, to submit papers formally to the ICJ, to say as a friend of the White House, as an intervening party. This is what we are hoping countries will do. I have some that have confirmed to me, but I don't want to name them until the formal step is taken, because I'd like to see the formal step. So we are waiting on that. And then I think we will also be approaching fellow countries, especially NAM and G77, about the relief agency and what we should continue doing to support. Then, yes, indeed, Mr. Sabo, I can't be dishonest. I believe that the rulings of the court have been ignored by Israel. Hundreds of people have been killed in the last 3-4 days, and clearly Israel believes it has license to do as it wishes. So the world does have to reflect, because we've got to come to a point where we have to think, what do we do to stop such acts? Not just with Israel, but any party in the world. We know that we were unable to protect Rwandan citizens when they faced a massive slaughter and a genocide. We are allowing this to happen again right before our eyes on the TV screens. South Africa has taken the bold step of approaching the ICJ with the CEDAT, with the provisional measures application. I think we now have to look at proposing other measures to the global community, but also securing international solidarity on this matter in support of the Palestinian people. And remember that what we seek is a two-state solution. We believe Israel must exist.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, we reversed the order a little bit of this. It's okay. Don't worry about it. That was the part where Pandor basically said that she does not believe that Israel is abiding by the ICJ cease and desist, stop doing these crimes, you have to take these measures in order to be in compliance with the International Court of Justice. This was the part closer to the beginning of her press conference where she called on nations to halt support to Israel.
Court did not grant this provisional measure. The decision overall by the court marks, we believe, a decisive victory for international law and a significant milestone in the search for justice for the people of Palestine. It confirms the importance of global governance institutions, including focus of the United Nations. It remains vital for us as member states to ensure that we respect and implement the decisions of the court. And I suppose what confronts us now is, what do we do if there is no implementation? And that is a question all nations must answer today, because it is a body of the United Nations that has set out these provisional measures. It's not the South African government or South Africa on its own. It is the International Court of Justice. And if its orders are not respected, what does this mean for every other government that commits atrocities against a people? This is a big question that confronts us as a global community today. The finding, we think, also makes it clear that it is plausible that genocide is taking place.
Larry's not just vain. He's a bird. So no wind, rain, which tends to flame his passion. It only makes it burn brighter. When there's a Mike's in green.
I'm going to be shut up. This game is
So guys, here we are right now inside of Murder Mystery 2. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys all of the newest codes that you need right now in the game today for 2024. I've got a bunch of working codes to show you all, so far for every video here, we might as well just redeem all the newest codes right now. But if you are ever in need of Robux, go ahead and download the codes in 2024 here. It's time.
So that's that there. I think that is a notable statement by her there. One, I mean, her saying later in that press conference, that was about an hour after she said these initial opening statements, basically saying, I believe Israel is in violation of what the ICJ said that they need to be doing. That means that, I mean, I'm in total agreement with that, obviously, but that only strengthens South Africa's case as acts with genocidal intent are alleged to have been perpetrated after the court ruled in the way that it did. And then there, you know, she's treating it with a lot of deftness, but she's implicating the United States in complicity in genocide right there.
Yeah.
These are international court systems. They're really limited. We understand this, right? And there's no silver bullet that's going to end. I don't even want to use the word bullet, but you understand what I'm saying. There's nothing that's gonna immediately fix and sew up the wounds of this campaign of mass killing and the 75 plus years of displacement and occupation and ethnic cleansing that preceded it. I mean, it's going to take a ton of reconciliation, and hopefully the United States will eventually realize it's not in our national interest to continue to prop up this pariah state, and we play a part in that down the line. I mean, that's hope against hope, but this kind of international pressure, where Biden's legacy would be one with complicity potentially in genocide, is another just kind of brick by brick
I'll tell you more though, guys, I'm not actually
building
I'm
a
just gonna hide
case
over here, guys, while I do tell you about
will
it. Because
resound throughout history, and
right now, not myself down here. Not that, so I don't do anything, guys. Just come show murderers. Don't be straight away. Over, yeah, pretty much. I want to be doing like...
Yeah, I think more efforts and more ways people can elaborate that is very important.
Yes. Lastly on this, the limitations of these court systems are in part because they were created in the structure of like colonialism and white Western imperialism and Anglo-Saxon Western dominance, in the same way that's how the United Nations was crafted. The ICJ is a better body, but there will be those limitations there, of course. The value of it, though, is as a pressure mechanism. I do hope, though, because of the renewed focus on this, and the need for an international-based rules order, that the legitimacy of international law gets some new life in the wake of this. But perhaps that's hope against hope. We shall see. Thank you again to South Africa for their continued efforts on this front.
A couple of years back, I did a video over on the Metro Pilot channel where I explained how a passenger could potentially land in the Boeing 737, providing that they had instruction from a trained pilot. Well, today we are going to take that to the test and see if that's actually possible. And the passenger who's going to try this is going to be Tom Scott. I want to say a special thank you to the brand new Airline Flight Academy Simulator Center in Dublin, with 6 state-of-the-art flight simulators that provides top-class training services, including the 737 and A320 type rating and industry-leading ATS MCC courses. After I published my first video on how a passenger could land an airliner, I received a lot of questions asking if this would be possible to do if a passenger would try to do it manually, as it would no help from the autopilot. Of course, I answered, no, I don't think that would be possible. Then I thought, let's find out. That's exactly what we can do in the first part. In the second part, I will test if my own perfect would actually work in real life, and how a passenger would react. So, enjoy.
Okay, I'm in the section 3 times on. I mean, I guess this is the first I've ever got to that property door, right?
Absolutely. So we have to do this as a theoretical scenario where you have gotten access to the cockpit in some fashion, but in reality, in an emergency like this, a passenger will never get access to the closed cockpit door. Okay, Tom, are you with me?
Let's go for it.
If you hold on to the steering yoke on your right-hand side, there's a button by the right thumb. Do you find it?
The one that says autopilot disengaged.
The very same, yes.
Shall I push it?
When you push it, you're going to have a terrifying siren going off, right? Telling you that it's just you and me now. And so press it once, and when that siren goes off, press it again to get rid of the siren.
Confirmed, we're on manual.
Okay, put your hands on both thrust levers, and then there's a button on your right thumb. Just press that as well, that will disconnect the other throttle.
Confirmed, all the throttle disengaged.
Okay, perfect. Now we're going to concentrate more or less on what you see on your primary flight display. That's the screen that is straight in front of you. So what speed are you keeping at the moment?
224.
So I want you to bring back the thrust levers a little bit, like bring them back a little bit and feel what happens to the aircraft when it does so. Feel that it's trying to pitch forward by itself. Can you feel that?
Yes, I can.
Pitch it forward, but not too much, just a couple of degrees. You see on the horizon, you know, the attitude indicator that you have a cross in front of you. Just bring it down a couple of degrees, but don't let the speed decrease too much, okay? Just keep the speed going around the speed that you have now.
Understood. It's less of a cross and more of a T shape at this point. I may be descending quite rapidly. I'm going to pull back a little on the stick.
That's it, okay? That warning that you have heard is that you're away from your altitude, but we're going to disregard that. Continue to descend, but not too high. Keep the speed we're on, alright? 220, and we're going to aim at getting you down to about 3,000 feet, okay? So do you see where the altitude band is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so as long as you're descending and you're leveling off at 3,000 feet, we're going to be fine. But make sure that the speed doesn't start to decrease.
Okay, I'm holding the speed about 198. We are descending.
If the speed 190, you're too slow, so pitch forward a little bit.
When you say pitch forward, does that mean go down or go up?
That means go down. It means push your yoke away from you. So push it very little. Remember, it's a big aircraft, so just push it forward a little bit, okay? And on your left-hand thumb, you have a trim switch. So that's the one that moves over the wheels next to you. If you feel that you need to use the right or left, you need to move that switch either forward or back.